Of Tom Gailey. His wife was my first witness. Now, Mrs. Gailey, I believe that you stated that you and your husband had had a disagreement and that you thought that he left for Tucson, Arizona. Is that right?
Yes, I knew that's where he was going. After what happened, he wanted to leave town.
Do you mind telling the court what did happen?
Well, I was going to have a baby, but I lost it.
And when was that?
In July. Then Tom wanted to go to work for his uncle. But I didn't want to go.
Why?
Well, Tom had been losing so many jobs because of his drinking that I told him he had to straighten himself out first, that he couldn't run away. I told him he couldn't keep a job anyplace if he kept on drinking.
And then what happened?
He left me.
Do you remember the date?
July 27th. He just packed and left.
Did you see your husband leave on the plane or the train, Mrs. Gailey?
No, but I know he went.
Your Honor, I ask that be stricken. It's not responsive to the question.
Strike everything after no.
Have you seen him since July 27th?
No.
Isn't it a fact you don't know if he left or not? Or that if he did leave, he could have returned by the 15th of August, the day the crime was committed?
He didn't do it, I tell you, he didn't.
Now, Mr. McGrath, in the course of your investigation, you had occasion to talk with Mrs. Ross on the phone last night from Tucson, Arizona. Is that correct?
That's right.
And is this the telegram you received from Mrs. Ross this morning?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, I would like to present in evidence Defendant's Exhibit A, the telegram received by Mr. McGrath.
I object, Your Honor, on the grounds of...
Your Honor, may I have a few words with the district attorney before you rule on this objection?
Very well.
Thank you. Let me admit it, Bill.
But a telegram's no evidence. It's not admissible. Bart, he's guilty.
I don't think so.
You're wasting your time, Mr. Matthews. We've got an eyewitness. Mrs. Johnson saw him.
An hysterical woman, a dark night, she could have been mistaken.
What about the moulage, his footprint?
The laboratory technician said there was 1 chance in 1,000. This might be it.
You're beating a dead horse.
I'm fighting for a man's life.
What's to be gained if I do admit the telegram?
A stay of sentencing. A couple of more weeks for further investigation. Bill, I don't think that he did it. Gailey's a gentleman, not a killer. He was hungry himself, and he gave the meat out of a sandwich to a dog.
Well, all right, Bart. Go ahead.
Thanks. Your Honor, I ask again that this telegram, Defendant's Exhibit A, be admitted in evidence, and offer to stipulate that if Mrs. Ben Ross of Tucson, Arizona, was called as a witness, she would testify as follows. Tom Gailey was at ranch at beginning of August, possibly through to August 15th. My husband will return from a trip tomorrow and can give you the exact date Tom Gailey began and terminated his employment.
So stipulated, Mr. Crowley?
So stipulated.
Defendant's Exhibit A will be admitted in evidence.
Thank you, Mr. McGrath. I had done everything possible under the circumstances. It was now up to the court.
After considering all the evidence in this case, I have no alternative but to find the defendant guilty as charged.
Your Honor, may I be heard on the motion for a new trial?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Matthews. I believe that further examination of the allegation that the defendant, Thomas Gailey, was in Arizona on the day that the crime should be made. I will continue the date of sentencing and for hearing for motion of new trial for 5 days. I instruct the district attorney and the public defender to investigate thoroughly all the information in the telegram. Court will now recess until 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
5 days. It took 2 days to iron out the red tape necessary to send my chief investigator, Ed McGrath, together with Lieutenant Haynes of the police department across the state line. They then took the first plane to Tucson and headed for Ben Ross's ranch.
Sure, I know him. He's my nephew, ain't he? He's no good. Takes after his father, another drunk.
We had some information he worked for you the first part of August. Is that right?
That's right. Worked here a while, then I fired him. Caught him sneaking in with a couple of bottles.
How long was he here, Mr. Ross? Got any record on it?
Well, sure. This is a business. I keep records. Let's see now. He came to work on August the 2nd, left on the 9th.
Those dates, you sure about them?
This book doesn't lie, mister. I paid him off and told him to get. Got $31 cash money, double what he was worth. Anything else you fellas want?
No. Let's go.
Wait a minute. Could I use your phone a minute, sir?
Where are you calling?
Long distance. Give me Los Angeles, Madison, 98799.
Reverse the charges.
Reverse the charges.
When I told Mrs. Gailey the bad news, she insisted on going with me to see her husband. Your uncle said that you worked for him for a week, that you left there on the 9th of August. Now, do you remember being there?
No.
You had more than $30 when you left. You remember that?
Oh, and don't ask me what I did with it. I don't know.
Try to think, darling. Try.
I'm sorry, honey. Was trying to forget everything. I wouldn't have gone away and left you if I'd have known you were sick.
Of course you wouldn't.
You know that. I don't deserve somebody like you. You're too good for me.
Tom, you had money in your pocket. What do you usually do when you have money?
Go to a hotel, get myself a bottle, send my shirt out to the laundry.
What hotel do you remember?
No.
It was a small thing, but I went right to work on it. Important time was passing. Ed, there was a laundry mark on that shirt he was picked up with. LK452. You got it? All right, check around. Oh, and cover the jails, too. He might have been picked up. Move fast, Ed.
Right, we'll let you know if we come up with anything, Bart. Bye.
Did the nice Boston to come home yet?
Well, you wanted to see the country. Come on, let's see it.
It's 110 in the shade. Where are we going?
Check the hotels, laundry.
You know something?
Yeah, we're wasting our time. He's guilty.
That's right. What further proof do you need?
Look, Haynes, we're defending him. We think he's innocent.
30 hours passed and no word from McGrath. Then, what so often happens, I received a desperate call. Mrs. Gailey?
I've been calling and calling you, but I couldn't get you.
I'm sorry I had nothing to tell you. Why don't you get some rest?
Tried to, but I can't. I had to talk to you. What's going to happen to Tom?
My investigator's working night and day.
It's too late. There's no time. He's going to be sentenced tomorrow morning.
We're not giving up, don't you, Mrs. Gailey? You'll make yourself sick again.
They'll send him to the gas chamber. I know they will. Hello? Yes, just a minute. It's for you. It's long distance.
Hello? Hello, Ed. Where are you?